Yes, the eyeliner. Yes, she was so Igbo.
Yeah,
like
she
only speaking Igbo.
She only put Igbo there. She made people to realize how fun and sweet it is to speak Igbo in
Hey,
so
yes. I'm Ngozi and Nnena, and welcome to our channel. Okay, so today is going to be a very interesting topic. We talk about this all the time, and it's crazy because we actually know we go to church. It's a Nigerian church, which is mostly like Yoruba people, and like we noticed like they really speak their language a lot, even to their children. Speaks their language. Yeah, everyone, even my Haitian friends, Ghanaians, Jamaican friends, and all of them, like everyone going to college, when they were on the phone with their parents, they will always be speaking their language. And I just felt like it was so interesting because growing up, my mother has never, we're Igbo, Nigeria, our tribe is Igbo. My mother has never spoken Igbo to us. I'm telling you, like, never. The only few times she ever speaks it is when I wake her up from sleep and, like, she's still, like, kind of sleeping. So she'll be like, get in, man. And I'm like, oh, and she'll tell me sorry. Like, my mother speaks Igbo to me, she'll tell me sorry. As in, like, she made a mistake. And it's just crazy because it's just like, why don't Igbo people, especially abroad in the diaspora, why don't they speak Igbo to their children? So, okay, so this is what my mother told us. We used to ask her this all the time. She said, number one, she didn't want us to be in ESL. I don't know if she just made that up.
English as a second language.
English as a second language. She didn't want us to basically maybe have an accent.
Yeah. You know they do that to a lot of like, I know a lot of like Spanish children, if they grew up like speaking their language like from very young and they come to like America, they'll end up trying to put them in the ESL classes and that kind of pushes them back academically.
But I feel like that doesn't really make sense. Not accurate. Because like a lot of foreigners who speak their language, when they speak English and English is perfect. Like they know how
you still have to speak both. You're not going to speak only Igbo to me 24/7. Of course, no one does that. Even people in Nigeria, they're still mixing it. You speak English sometimes, you speak Igbo sometimes. So the children, when they're young, they pick up so many things.
Have you ever had like British people speak Igbo and they'll be ripping their Igbo and all of a sudden they'll go back to their British accent.
You wouldn't even hear the British background.
I'm like, how did you go from Igbo to sound like a straight London, like a British person? So like, I understand that to an extent, but I think it's a deeper rooted issue that people don't really want to address. I think it's colonialism. I think it's wanting to appeal to whiteness. Wanting to assimilate, wanting to, I feel like either Igbo culture, we're really into education, we're really into, going to school, attending all these degrees, and I think that by pushing English on your children versus speaking Igbo, it's like you're making them more American. In a sense, you're making them more American, making them more more marketable
in terms of like
money. Maybe you don't want them to have that accent that might hold them back, or you want them, to speak great English. But it's like at the end of the day, as you start getting older, sometimes you start getting jealous because it's like maybe you're in a private setting and you wish that you can speak. You see all these foreigners always speaking their language to each other, and sometimes you're like, wow, I wish I could go out.
And we'll joke around like our cousins will speak, but it's not like I cannot sit here and hold a full conversation with someone confidently.
Like if I was stuck on an island and it was only Igbo, I would get off the island.
Yeah, like
I know how to understand it. Like it's not like I can't understand it, so I'm grateful at least for that part. But the older you get. Like I remember even I was talking to my aunt. Remember when we was in Nigeria, she was like, "You guys should still be speaking."
Yeah, she told me.
She said, "You guys should still be speaking.
Don't be ashamed."
She's like, "Why are you ashamed? That's only where you're gonna learn. How about people that are speaking their dusty English and they speak it every day? They don't know English, So how are you gonna learn if you guys are so scared to speak it?
We're never gonna learn how to properly
speak it. I feel so subconscious. I feel like I don't have the accent, So I don't want to be saying words and I sound so American.
But you have to put on the accent. Same way when people from another language speak English, you can't say like you have to speak with an English accent or American accent to speak English. To an extent, because the accent is what makes the language almost. So I can sit here and speak a whole line, but if I speak it with an American accent, a real person from Nigeria, Igbo person, they may not understand what I'm saying because I'm speaking it with an English accent. You have to put on, and every part of the Nigeria has different accents too.
I remember that BBC article that said Igbo is supposed to be extinct by like a certain year. I read some article that said like a certain year Igbo is supposed to be extinct, and I'm like hearing all this stuff is like crazy. Like that's even why we should be speaking it more because it's a language that's already kind of dying. So it's like if we don't speak it and no one speaks it to their children, and how right now if we have children, I'm definitely not speaking Igbo to my children. Like how? I'm gonna force my mom to speak it to them. Yeah. She's my only hope. Like who's gonna speak it to my children? I don't know what
you're you're not comfortable. Like you don't know it, of course. Also too, you don't know it well enough, but also the comfort level. Like if you're not used to speaking something, I'm not comfortable to just sit there and hold a whole conversation with somebody in Igbo. Like I understand you, but I'm still gonna even when I go to Nigeria, people speak to me, I respond in English. Like I understand what you're saying. I say no, but hello TD, fine. Like I understand what you're saying, but I'm not gonna be sitting there. And
it's so weird when people like speak to me back in
people
Igbo.
get offended. Like they're like, why are you speaking English to me? I'm like, because you don't understand. Like it's not our fault.
So weird.
Yeah, it's not our fault. Like no one spoke this to us, and I understand where our parents are coming from in a sense.
If Igbo people are not speaking their language, does that mean they're ashamed of their culture if they don't speak?
No, but they speak it to everyone else, but their kids. Not like they don't speak it. They speak it to everyone. Literally, my mother speak it to her siblings, her co-worker, everyone. They speak it. Not like they don't speak it. They just don't speak it to their children. But they're speaking it all the time. That's why their accents are still even heavy because they speak it all. True. If they weren't speaking it, they wouldn't have accents. You know what I mean? So like I don't think it's that they're ashamed of it. I just think that they don't look at it as something supposed to speak to children.
They're not thinking about the cultural preservation.
Yeah, they're not thinking about it. They just think about like, oh, I don't want to mess up your English, or maybe that's.
I don't want you to have accent.
And it's not just like I used to think maybe it's just me or my family, but it's all my cousins, all the people I'm around, like none of them, their parents don't speak it to them.
I don't really know any Igbo person like our generation, first gen, who like speaks Igbo fluently, unless maybe they went to school back in Nigeria, their parents sent them back home, or like they were born there maybe. Even like my mom came from Nigeria, he wasn't speaking Igbo.
But he understood, he learned a lot, like he could actually understand it. But yeah, so I don't know in terms of this, what is the solution, I guess? Should we be telling our parents now to start speaking it to us? Like tomorrow, just start. Like I don't care how old I am. I don't care. Like I'll learn. Of course, it's easier to learn when you're young. That's why they say teach multiple languages to your children when they're like small because they can pick up and learn so quick. Speak French, Spanish.
It's not too late.
But it's
like
not too late.
Only speak Igbo.
Like mom only speak Igbo. I feel like she won't take me seriously. She'll be laughing at me. Like what? What are you talking about? Like because if they don't speak it to us, like we're never going to truly learn it. Like we have books and things we do, like learn. You go buy a book, but a book can't really teach you a language. Like that's how that's how I feel. Like it's conversational. You have to be speaking it. Speak it to someone. And you're speaking it back exactly for you to learn. I don't think a book.
At least we should be grateful we understand because there's a lot of people that don't even understand.
Yeah, and have a lot of friends who don't even understand Igbo. Talk less of even speaking it. They don't like someone.
So technically, if you can understand, you can kind of speak. We just don't want to speak.
Yes, I'm saying we are like we're scared. Like we don't want to speak.
I can't speak well, but technically, if you really wanted to speak to someone in Igbo, you can speak to them in Igbo, and they'll probably understand what you're saying.
Another issue too with Igbo is that there's so many dialects within Igbo too, and I know that's getting a little too deep, but it's like people think of like it's like you say Spanish. The Spanish a Mexican person speaks and a Spanish first of all Spain speaks, it's like two different Spanish. Like it's different dialects.
You think with Igbo is that distinct?
I think like when I listen to Fino, I don't really understand what he says.
That's true.
Fino's from Enugu or wherever he's from. Yeah, like Fino to me, his Igbo is like serious.
Some of the stuff he said.
Yeah,
I have
like
no
what are
idea.
you saying? But it's like because I'm not from Enugu, so the Igbo is different, even from different Igbo states within Nigeria. It's not like I can't hold a conversation with somebody. It's not that extreme, but it's very different. So even
maybe the solution is we can try and tell mommy, at least not all the time, but tell mommy to speak to us in Igbo sometimes.
And at least even if we don't have to respond to her in Igbo, just tell her to speak it to us.
So be more comfortable.
So understand.
Right now, no one speaks it to us.
No one.
So it's just by being nosy that we understand it, but no one speaks it. So just tell them once in a while speak it to us. True. I actually like it when when I hear men speak Igbo, I feel like it's sexy.
Like it's so cute. Like when you hear guys speaking it to each other, like I feel like it's like cute.
I'm talking about when a guy speaks it to me.
No, I wasn't talking about even to me.
Like when a guy speaks it to me, I'm like, wow, like it would be nice to have a guy that could speak. I don't know. I feel like Igbo's romantic. Yeah, so that's basically it. We just really want to try to understand like why does anyone else have some reasons why they think that in the diaspora, Igbo, or is it just us? I don't think it's just us.
It's not
but
just
I'm just
us.
saying, like
maybe just the region we're in. Maybe if you're from like Texas or something, California,
maybe they speak Igbo there.
Yeah, maybe it's a Northeast thing. Let us know. But from what I know, like literally Igbo people, like I don't even see it. Like I don't even witness it. I have cousins. I've never seen my uncle speaking Igbo to their children. Like I don't see it. I don't see it. So maybe it's just maybe it could be an area thing. Maybe it could be just up here, but I don't think so. I think it's a diaspora thing, like a global thing, like them they don't really speak it to us. So what's some maybe other reasons you think why besides like the colonialism and like just wanting you to speak good English, not have an accent, maybe what are the other reasons you think they don't speak Igbo to us? And is it question time?
I don't think it's colonialism or something. It's just society. That's causing it, like society. People don't want to embrace that Igbo language, unlike Yoruba people. Like they always say Igbo Amaka. Yeah, so it's now people are beginning to realize those things, the importance of speaking Igbo anywhere you are. Unlike Yoruba people, anywhere you see them, they speak Yoruba. They speak that dialect. Even the biggest of the biggest girl, they speak Yoruba. But when you see an Igbo girl, she'll be like forming.
My name is Brittany.
Yeah.
Chicken.
No. Another thing, you know the new Genevieve movie. That's why people kind of like it.
The eyeliner.
Yeah,
She was so Igbo.
Yeah,
like
she
speaking Igbo.
she only put Igbo there. She made people to realize how fun and sweet it is to speak Igbo in movie.
Hey,
So that's it.
That was true. Like, that's why I love it. And the feet are popped up. Besides that movie, like the plot not being the best, but one thing I really liked was like the filming of it.
They laid the foundation of Igbo language there.
That's true.
They really made people to realize that Igbo is good.
Is this recent? I feel like back in the day I always heard of Yoruba movies, right? But nowadays there's a lot of Igbo movies. Like there's movies where they'll speak
They even
Igbo.
have BBC Igbo. Yeah, where they speak only Igbo in BBC. Yes.
That's good.
It's
I think I saw
important.
that. It's online, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I've seen that before. You can get it all in Igbo. That's
All in
true.
Igbo.
I love that about Lionheart. Like all the actors, literally, they were all Igbo.
That's why people like it.
The actresses.
Ngozi, my namesake, Ezano,
Sophia, Fino came in there randomly. I didn't know he was an actor.
Edochi, what's his father, the older one.
Yeah, Peter Edochie.
Peter Edochie. Yeah.
So really brought out the Igbo language there for people to realize that Igbo is sweet. Yes.
And I don't know, maybe I was too forgetting about Biafra War. Is that a part of the reason? Because Igbo people are still minority.
Yeah,
Like you
and
can't
the whole
compare the
Nigeria.
population to Yoruba people. There's way more Yoruba people than Igbo people.
And Hausa people more than Igbo people.
Yeah, so Igbo people
So
still
like the largest minority in terms of like the population.
like you can't compare like Efik and like all
Yeah.
those other ones that are much smaller, but there's still not a lot like compared to Yoruba people. There's more Yoruba people than Igbo people. So could that be why too? Maybe I don't know. The war.
But I think that part of it is just the mentality, like she said. Because even within Nigeria, I've met people that grew up in Nigeria and said their parents don't speak Igbo to them. Of
They're
course,
trying
it's
to
more
be
common.
strict,
Yeah,
right?
of course, it's more common abroad. But if someone could be in Nigeria and their parents are speaking Igbo to them, why would you expect someone in Amsterdam to be speaking Igbo to their child, or expect someone in Canada to be speaking Igbo to their child when people within the same Nigeria are not even speaking it? So I think it does come down to it's a mentality thing. The mentality has to shift for people to see the importance, and then maybe end up speaking it, start speaking it, understand if you don't speak it, your language is gonna die. It's gonna die off. It's no one else, a white person, not gonna come and speak it to us. If you don't speak it, it's done. It's finished. But
Well, that's it.
thanks for watching. See you next video. Bye bye.